Hello, many thanks for joining us. This is Press Roundtable on Atlantic Television Network. I'm still Chituga Diamond. It's my pleasure to come your way at this point in time where we take out critical issues. Of course, we analyze them in the best way we can. Of course, have experts in the house. I have other colleagues of mine from other media houses. Together, we'll take a look at issues around us today. All right, we'll have Cynthia, Anita in the house with me this evening. Welcome.
Thank
Anita.
you very much.
And also Honorable Promise Wako is in the house.
Thank you so
Welcome.
much.
Okay, we have joining us via Zoom from Abuja. Simon Reeve is is standing by right now in Abuja. Welcome, Simon. All right, you have to unmute yourself so that we can hear you. Can you hear me, Simon? All right, you have to unmute yourself, Simon, so that we can communicate at the moment. All right, thank you for joining us, Simon. Good to see you. Unmute your device, unmute it, so that we can hear you. All right, we'll also get through to him, then we will get on, he will join us again on the program this evening. Let's go for a very short break. We'll be back, and we take a trip to Abia State now, where we know that right now, you know, the fireworks for election is coming up. You begin to see litigations. You begin to see face-off from different quarters from all the political parties, and of course, it's geared towards one thing. You know, when you try to want to vie for a position and you're not the governor's favorite in the house, or whichever position or whichever party you belong to, you know that obviously there will be a face-off in time like this as well. You know, this is the time and this is the hour, so when everyone needs to be guarded and know how to play the game when it comes to politics. We'll take a trip to Abia State and find out what actually is going on between the state government and Honorable Binna Icheta in the house. Also, I think the judicial arm and executive is also trying to play down on the powers that be in the house. Well, the most important thing in life, you know, when it comes to politics, and of course, a proper representation for the people choose who go to defend them, who go to talk about them, who go to, you know, plead their case in the State House of Assembly or National Assembly, as the case may be. But when that right is trampled upon, it means that someone somewhere is trying to silence freedom of speech. We'll take a trip to Abia. We'll be back in just a moment. Just stay with us, and then we'll find out what really is going on with a leader of APGA in Abia State and a member representing Aba South, beg your pardon, constituency in the state Abia State House of Assembly. And we'll have barrister Chukwuemeka, who will be telling us a little bit of what actually is going on there. In just a moment, we'll be back as we get through to him via a telephone. The program is Press Roundtable, where we talk about issues of any kind. Stay with us. We'll be back in just a moment. All right, many thanks for joining us and welcome back. Express Roundtable here on Atlantic Television Network. All right, I have, well, let me start with Honorable Promise in the House, and maybe you should tell us, you know, what it looks like when the Chief Executive is also asking, as a representative of the people, not to speak for your people anymore. This is a case at hand right now at Abia State House of Assembly, where Honorable Obinna Icheta, you know, who is representing his people, have been, you know, sued to court that he shouldn't speak on their behalf because he like he said that he tried to query, you know, asking the Abia State governor what he did with the money they got, the loan they got from, is it, they got a loan and was asking what the money, how they spent the money, and for that, you know, they got on talking, arguing, and the rest of them, and the next thing was the judge issued a court injunction that he shouldn't speak in the house for his people anymore. Promise, is it a way of killing freedom of speech, or I don't know how do you say this?
Ordinarily, my perceive things differently. Well, my perceive things differently at every point in time. And beside that, there are laws governing whatever thing we are doing as individuals, most especially as lawmakers. Now, for the chief executive to have borrowed money and an individual is questioning him on what he is doing with the money, there is appropriation. He has to pass through appropriation. That money has to pass through appropriation. Let me use the case of River State to cite an instance. Let's say, for instance, on several occasions, the governor of River State has borrowed money. And the money he is borrowing, we all know what he is doing with the money. And if he borrows the money, he seeks the leave of the house. And the house grants the money. If the house, if as a house, refuse or deny him access to such fund, he won't go ahead to borrow the money, because now we are talking as a house, and it will be brought to the floor of the house where people will air out their view. So what he did, probably from the explanation you've given, speaking with the governor directly, didn't the loan pass through the house in the first instance? Because it was supposed to pass through the house, and it was, if it was for a budget that he needed the money for, then it would have been enshrined in the budget and say, this loan that we are about collecting is going to be used for so thing and so thing and so thing, except when, even if he has interest in the loan, maybe that the money should be used in something that relates to his area.
Now,
where
that's sorry to cut in. Yes, sorry to cut in there. That's where the point is now. No, it's about $56 million loan, you know, that he received from World Bank for a specific project in Aba South, which is the constituency where he represents. So that's where the argument is coming from, and they have instituted a court order that he shouldn't speak for his people, just like the way he put it as well.
Ordinarily, there is no need for any court order to restrict him from speaking to his people. But we have a house rule as lawmakers, and in the house rule, there are procedures through which you speak to your people, and you could be denied as when you go contrary to the house rules. On that note, that's where you could be denied access, not necessarily involving the court, except all those processes has undergone, you know, they've passed through those phases, and they didn't, but there is no way they will arrive at a point, because it is in the house. We have various parties in the house, and at the same time, you can still lobby members to speak on your behalf and speak in your favor. So it's a win-win situation, either for the executive or for you as a lawmaker.
Okay, Anita, let's get your point on this as well.
I have a different opinion. Because,
okay, fine.
I call it executive rascality. You know, we find it in the political atmosphere where the governor thinks that, you know, because he's the chief executive, he can decide for everybody. But the truth is that every lawmaker in the house was elected just the way the governor was elected. Yes, he is the chief executive, but the truth is that you can't speak for everybody. These people were elected by their people, just like you are representing the whole state. these people were elected selectively for the people. You can't take loan for my constituency and you expect me to keep quiet when I don't know what the loan is all about. The lawmaker has spoken because, you know, you took a loan on his behalf. And like Wankwa was saying, it has to pass through the House. Most governors don't pass such loans through the House, especially when something is fishy about it. In Rivers State, for example, you know, we cried for a long time before the budget was made open. Initially, it was so secretive. So you find this executive rascality once in a while, where the governor just decide what he wants to do and he does it. The governor right now in Rivers State has decided to pass most things through the
lawmakers.
Yes, the lawmakers. But initially, it wasn't like that. You know, so maybe the Abia State governor is trying to bet through the waters to see if he can get away with it. But the truth is that if this loan was meant for the people, he would have passed it through the House. But because something fishy, he wants to do something fishy with that money, he wants to collect the money on behalf of the people and impoverish them, which the lawmaker, I support him 100%. He can't be stopped from speaking for his people. The governor didn't elect him, the people elected him.
Okay, let's see if Simon Reef can join us in this conversation moment. Hello, Simon. Can you hear us now?
Yeah, very clear. Can you hear me?
Okay, very well then. So just quickly, because we have to run off to this now. Let's get your view on this discussion now. A member, okay, well, I think, okay, we have Chukwemeka calling right now from Abia State. That's the legal advisor of Abga. So let's hear me out, then we will come back to you, Simon, please.
Okay.
Okay.
It's all right.
Okay, so you hold the line. All right, thank you for calling in. Yes, Bryce Chukwemeka and Wokorea. Okay, quickly, just bring us up to speed with what's going on with Honorable Obinna Icheta and the state governor.
Okay, thank you very much. What is going on between Honorable Obinna Icheta, the honorable member representing House of Assembly, and the Abia State government is nothing more than a situation where the government of Abia State is very, very economical with the truth. A government that is insensitive to the plight of her citizens. A government that has refused to deliver the dividends of democracy to his people. A government that has refused to follow the principles of democracy in terms of listening to diverse opinions in terms of the governance of the state. Honorable Obinna Icheta, as a representative of his people, has always been vocal in terms of giving his people quality representation. You will agree with me that one of the major functions of a legislator is to represent the opinions and interests of his constituents, especially as it has to do with good governance. Now, Honorable Obinna Icheta, who happens to be a representative of his people, has always been speaking against the bad governance witnessed in Abia State, especially as it has to do with infrastructural dilapidation in Aba, specifically Aba South. There are no good roads in Aba South. The standard of living within the area is so poor, and Obinna Icheta, as a legislator, cannot keep quiet and refuse to represent the people who elected them to go and speak on their behalf. So the problem between the state government and Obinna Icheta is that Obinna Icheta has decided to be vocal in discharging his functions as a legislator, by speaking out and calling on the state government to come to the aid of the people of Aba South State constituency by delivering the dividends of democracy, which includes good road. Obinna Icheta specifically mentioned about the dilapidated nature of to his village. If you go to that Port Harcourt road, it is impassable. If you go to that Port Harcourt road, you will see how people are suffering, how the masses are suffering. And as a representative of these people are beyond and calling on him. You are our representative. Speak on our behalf. Call on the state government to come and perform its function, part of which is building roads for the people, so that the people will be able to pass through those roads and attend to their daily activities.
Okay, let me cut you there now, Barrister. So what is the situation at the moment? What is the situation at the moment?
The situation at the moment is that the Abia State government, which is an arm of government, has decided to use the instrumentality of the judiciary to stop a sitting and elected member of the Abia State House of Assembly, the person of Honorable Obitijita, from performing his constitutional duty, which is speaking out for his people against bad governance, calling on the state government to come and perform its duties, which is it owes to its citizens. So that's the situation. They have gone to court. The state government has gone to court using the instrumentality of the judiciary to go and stop another arm of the state, which is the legislator.
Okay.
Performing its function.
Okay. I'm sure they have a speaker, the Speaker of House of Assembly, and other honorable members, lawmakers in Abia State. So we have to deal with this as well, you know, because it's not just because Obinna is the one now talking or saying that trying to come up with this with the state government, and other House members will keep mute about that because it may definitely come to their own constituency one way or the other. All right, Barrister Chukwuemeka, I want to thank you for this now. For now, that we have to go and deliberate on that, and then we will come back. We'll follow up. Yes.
I pray you will allow me also to say something about that interim order that was given today against Obinijita, asking him, restraining him from making defamatory statement against the state government. Who determines when a statement is defamatory? It's only a court of law that can determine when a statement is defamatory. So it baffles me for a judge of that standard to grant an interim order restraining a legislator from performing his constitutional duties. And that order he granted is an order that ought to form the substantive matter.
Okay, we'll leave it at that for now. All right.
Sorry? Okay.
Pastor, I want for many things. We'll leave that at now. We'll follow up whatever it may be. All right, thank you. Okay. Barrister Chukwuemeka Nwokolo, the Abia State legal advisor. All right. Anita, I can see that you were just checking and not agreeing. No, I don't know what.
I agree with what he's saying.
Okay.
You know, it is wrong for even a judge to sit and grant such orders, because a judge ought to know that this person was elected to speak for his or her people. You know, the way our judges just, you know, dish out injunctions is as if it's a supermarket. They know the law. We know them as people who are supposed to uphold our laws. And somebody just come and you tell somebody, you just issue injunction that a lawmaker that was elected to speak for his or her people should not speak. Okay. And you grant such injunction. You know, these are some of the things that when we hear, we begin to wonder, are these real judges? You know, what are we getting into? This is not the Nigeria that we want.
Okay. Honestly. Let me lend my voice to.
Okay. Let's go to. Sorry. Promise. Let's go to Musa. Simon Reef in Abuja. Let's also get comment from him. Simon.
Thank you very much. I think what is happening in Abia is not strange to some of us that are living in the north, because what we've had is not a democracy in some states. What you have in some of these states is just pure tyranny. When you talk about $56 billion loan, I said in Kaduna, our governor collected $350 million US, and nobody knows how he's spending it. And we are being told that this money will be spent in the next 10 or 20 years. Nobody's asking questions. So what we have in place now is that we have a democracy that has been hijacked by some of these governors. And once democracy is hijacked by a cabal, there is no way it will work. Under a democratic system, it is the people that should, it is the government that should be afraid of people. But in some of these states, and mostly in Nigeria, it is the people that are afraid of government. So it tells you that democracy has been hijacked. And what is happening in Abia is not strange.
Okay.
We all know that members of the legislature are mere, is an extension or is a parlor for the governor. What he wants, he simply called his state lawmakers to his bedroom and they sign whatever he wants to get. So some of us are not shocked with what's happening in Abia State. Because right here in Kaduna, especially from my own constituency, a member of my own state assembly from 2015 to 2019 was suspended. And they refused paying him his salary, no allowances, and nothing. As I speak with you, he's back to the State House of Assembly. And he has remained quiet. I asked him, why quiet? So, well, if I do anything now, they will throw me out. And once they throw me out, what can I do? So what we
This is no longer democracy.
We are not practicing democracy in some of these states. It's just pure tyranny.
Okay.
If President Muhammadu Buhari will do what some of these governments are doing, Nigeria will be in flames. I'm telling you this.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me take it, I promise. Okay. Thank you, Simon. Promise. Okay, quickly. So let's get into the next discussion.
Please, you know, most times when we talk from outside the scene, we do not really know what happened in the scene. Yeah,
the Commissioner for Information was supposed to be part of the program.
It's like when you are behind the scene watching a football match. Exactly. You don't know what the people are passing through. And you don't know. Let's say, for an instance, this is an organization and we have rules and regulations here in this organization on what to air out and what not to air out.
Absolutely.
And what to do at every point in time and what not to do at every point in time. You know, recently I was listening to a radio station where they say a lady, a co-worker saw a lady and it had told her that she's looking very beautiful and her boost is looking very bigger, like she's not breastfeeding her baby.
That's a male colleague now.
A male colleague now told that lady, and he was sacked. And the guy was sacked. And some persons, when they were commenting on radio, they were commenting that it was very harsh decision from the management. But nobody ever thought of or mentioned, do they know the contract agreement they signed?
Okay,
before you were employed. Now, let me tell you something. Do you know that when you talk about lawmaking, I'm not justifying the fact I'm not justifying the fact that he took money and he's using the money. If the money didn't pass through the due process of the law, that's through the state assembly, and it wasn't deliberated upon for him to take the loan, and the majority of the house didn't decide on the money. I'm not justifying that. If he didn't pass through the law and wasn't deliberated upon, then that is absolutely wrong. But when you're talking about maybe speaking for your people, you speak for your people based on the issue that is bothering on your people. And how many persons did you consult before speaking for your people? Now I am a legislator, I'm representing my people. Do you know that there are certain decisions I want to take? The first thing I do is this: if it is going contrary to my view or what I do not like from the state government, I consult my people. Why I consult my people? Because we have political leaders even as well from your constituency.
I'm sure, sorry to cut you. You heard the barrister saying that he called his people. That he called his people and the people are asking questions that why is this road still in this condition after 56 million naira?
It's the same thing we are telling you.
Yeah.
Now let me tell you, the floor of the house is where you stand tall to make your claims right and speak it the way it should be. At the floor of the house. Now, do you tell me the means through which he passed his message to the governor before the governor began to use other means to stop him from
a session and something comes up, then he needs to talk about it.
Nobody did mention.
No, this is what he said. He said you have to stop him from talking.
Okay, let me tell you something. Do you know that ordinarily, even
this is not really okay.
As a lawmaker, do you know that I can go outside the parliamentary, outside the plenary, and start telling people every other thing. Go to media houses, they want to hear a whole lot that happened. But that's not the case. What matters is how can you represent your people at the house and lobby other members to support.
Let's leave that for now. Let's go to our next.
Now let me tell you, the whole of River State. Let me tell you, we have that. Let me tell you something. Now, when you talk about just the governor is one person representing a state, and you have lawmakers. Let's say, for an instance, we have 32 lawmakers coming from different constituencies, speaking for different constituencies, and at the same time the governor is just one person, and now speaking for your own constituency, all the things you are thinking or thinking towards should be about what your constituent will benefit from everything that comes into that government. And at that point you need to solicit from other members to support you, even in the preparation of the bill. That's the budget.
Well,
for those roads that you're looking at.
I think well, let's just see how the whole thing plays out. Yeah. But if you ask me,
but meanwhile, it's not that.
No, is it right? Is it right for an honorable member to keep mute in the house when you're supposed to deliberate on your people?
Now listen, the last speaker that spoke he said something. Now what he said was this: even in his own where he's calling from, that the state government took money, and after taking the money, that something happened, that they kept somebody mute for close to a period of time, and before, do you know that from the house you could be suspended?
Well, let's go.
Even when you are elected, you could be suspended, and you could be stopped from speaking.
When Victoria Anyeche was in the house, and because she was from the opposition party, during her tenure, you said that she was basically silenced, and we know her as a woman who speaks out. You know, she was silent for as long as she was in that house. She tried to do a lot of things by herself, but because she is not in the majority party, we saw
which may be the case now in Abia State. Let's go for a break. It's a press roundtable here on Atlantic Television Network. You know, when journalists gather this way, this is what you get all the time. This is what you get all the time when they gather. They are the newsmakers, the voices behind the news. We'll go for a short break. We'll be back to take on another issue. As long as this matter is concerned, we're yet to hear the last of it. We go for a break. We'll be back in just a moment. Please stay with us. Welcome back. It's still Press Roundtable here on Atlantic Television Network. You know, when journalists gather like this, you expect that you hear everything. They are the newsmakers, the voice behind the news. Let's get into other serious issues now. Now, Minister of Interior, Rauf Aregbesola, after his visit to Correctional Center some weeks back, told prison guards to shoot any intruder or attacker on the correctional facility. He said this while inspecting the facility of the Agode Correctional Center in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital. He told the guards to make it impossible for anyone to penetrate the facility, saying that any attack on any correctional center is an attack on Nigerian state. Now, the minister ordered the officials to protect the integrity of correctional facility by using maximum force. He also told them not to shoot with intention to disable or wound them, but to kill the intruder. Wow. Anita, did you hear your interior minister giving order to the guards on the correctional centers? Well, this may be from the incessant jailbreak and the rest of them, and he's also asking them don't shoot with intention like you want to wound, shoot like you want to kill. So what this support the minister. You support.
Let me give you my reasons.
Okay.
From the news you can say that it's quite this issue of attacking the prisons, this thing is becoming too rampant. And I begin to ask them, don't we have security in these prisons? That it has become so cheap for people to just go and attack prison, and you hear prison break. Only in Nigeria you hear all these issues. How can well-armed men who are trained to protect prisoners, people will not intrude into it? People who are not even trained will learn that most of these intruders are, they are just gunmen. They are not trained. While we have spent money on our security, some of them were trained in India, wherever they train them, and you come back, ragtag, a gunman will come and shoot and then clear everybody and carry prisoners away. Even if it is one person they want to release, they will kill and get them released. So, for me, like the first citizen law say, if somebody attack you, kill. They were trained to kill. If you want to wrestle a rifle from any policeman, he will kill you. Because if you take that rifle from him, he too will be killed. So, I support the minister. If you come to attack the prison, you'll be shot.
Okay. Now, you're saying that you're supporting the minister. What happens to extrajudicial killing? Wouldn't that amount to going the extra mile?
No, that's not extrajudicial killing.
It is not?
Because,
okay.
No, it's not. Because you attack the attacker.
Okay.
He's specific.
Defined.
So in defense.
Specific.
In defense to protect the facility. Just that's the order that
because
is given.
If they don't defend themselves, they will be killed.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Honorable, let's get your thoughts.
Honestly speaking, after the incident of NSAS protest that was hijacked by hoodlums and they damaged a lot of facilities, my place was actually a victim. We are 2 police stations, we are burnt down. And in fact, initially, one of the constituency projects I did was to rebuild a police station. That wasn't it wasn't my intent in the first place to build a police station. But the primary responsibility of every good government is to protect lives and properties. And the only way you can protect lives and properties is to have these policemen in place. And at the time, my people stayed without security personnel, which wasn't really good. And I hastened up to build up a police station. And that's the only police station we are using now. Thank God for our governor.
But promise, what we're saying now, the minister. No, because for the sake of time, Simon is in Abuja.
I'm supporting.
No, let's see. Is it a right statement for an interior minister to come make such a statement openly without minding anything whatsoever?
Because of his position, interior minister.
I know he falls between his purview, right?
Yeah, yes. The interior minister. Yeah. And since he's an interior minister, you understand me?
Yeah.
And he's specific about what he said. He said anybody that makes attempt into the correctional center
facilities, yes,
should be attacked. Because why do we have the people there? And you are a security personnel, have your armed personnel, and you see some hoodlums, people that are not trained, will just overtake you, kill people, kill you with your gun, and take away the guns. Okay. So what's the essence of you being there?
Let's get Simon's opinion on this. All right, Simon. Okay, yes, Simon, yes.
I have been following the opinions of my colleagues, and let me say this, I'm very, very outraged by what they have said. Because whether you like it or not, there are laws.
Absolutely.
And those laws must be kept. Absolute laws. That if the same interior minister will go to a correctional center and said, kill any intruder, what has happened to the 1,000 that have been mauled down in herdsmen attack, kidnapping and all that? What has he done? What measures has he put in place with either the police ministry or whatever to see that the issue of security is tackled? Now, let me tell you the issue, what we have missed. We have missed the issue of the intelligence gathering mechanism. If we were a very serious nation, before any attack on any correctional center, if you have a serious intelligence gathering mechanism, there will be information about it. So what happens to those things? So should we now say, because we don't want the destruction of correctional center and prisoners will be left, so anybody that comes to attack the prison, you simply shoot them and kill them? I don't think that is the right thing. I think the right thing is that the minister should have had on the need for intelligence gathering. Yes. And when they are fighting, when they are attacking the so-called intruders, there may be stray bullets that may kill people that are even not involved. So I think we should try to be a little bit less.
I just want to ask you, when these intruders come, should we give them a cup of tea and welcome them so that they can come and kill prisoners? Remember that people. No, so you are saying.
Now listen, he made a statement that I wanted to pick on. So sorry, let me tell you something.
Can I make something?
Let me clear you on something, please. Do you know that?
You had your time.
Okay, let's hear him out. Let's hear Simon.
I have to explain my.
No, go on, Simon. Go on.
So what I'm saying is that we know things are very bad in this country as far as security issues are concerned. We cannot simply allow criminals to unleash terror on our correctional centers. But much as we are doing that, we should try to develop an intelligence gathering mechanism that is very, very effective, that even before they come to attack the prisons, at least there should be information, and that the security forces will come and combat them even before they come in there. Why I say this is that, why is it that the security forces, we've had people being killed, not within the prison of the prisons. We've had Nigerian being killed in villages. Nothing has been done. So when they try to react, you now say, no, self-defense is not good. But when intruders come to maybe set prisoners away, you say, no, kill them. I mean, it is something I don't understand. So what I want to see the minister doing as the Minister of Interior is, first of all, encourage intelligence gathering mechanism. Let it be effective. Let not just within the prisons, but even outside the prison. Nigerians have the right to enjoy security wherever they are, whether they are in prisons or they are out of prisons. So the idea of the minister coming in and just issuing such an order, if you go by the Constitution, is a lawless order. And if we are passing a democracy, at least member of the National Assembly should have taken him on that. That is just my brief comment.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, Simon. Many thanks there, sir. Yeah. Honorable, you're trying to say, okay, now you have your time because...
I wanted to say that, he was actually jumping here and there. I can't replace where his stand or his opinion is. But I just want to say that, the minister, for me, is right. We have watched these people overrun our security. And like I asked, are these trained, are these the people that will have spent taxpayers' money training all over the places? So they can't sit down and watch people overrun them. The minister was right. Because sometimes you hear that, what is going on in Imo State, where you hear that these boys come to attack and then the security men will run away. And these are supposed to be the people that are supposed to protect you, running away from intruders. So for me, it's like giving them, boosting their morale to attack. This is what they were trained to do. This is what they signed to take. So they shouldn't be running away from people.
The director said something, and he was dwelling on intelligent gathering, which is very key. But on the contrary, we forget that this is 21st century and this is jet age. Could we flash back our memories to EndSARS protests? People using social media handle in closed formats, and they ganged up and they came over to the street. So you don't know the means through which these people are using. And another thing we should be thinking of is to domesticate police. If we domesticate police, that's when you can have access to intelligent gathering. Now, the policemen are far off from the people. If we have decentralized and have state policing, it will aid what he is saying about intelligent gathering. Before now, we used to have intelligent gathering. Now, before anything happened, you have first-class information, even from the town, what was happening in the villages. But because
why don't we have it anymore? Because technology. Because they're not technology. No, because they're not protected. They don't protect the interests of those who come to give information.
First, they don't protect the interests of the people that give them the information. And secondly, technology has advanced to a point that they can override the people with technology. How many of them are trained? How many times do they train our security personnel on yearly basis, on even quarterly basis? How many times? So it becomes an issue.
Even in advanced countries,
this is not to justify it. I am supporting the Interior Minister for what he is saying, so that we curtail what we're already having, because the tension is already high and people are scared. As I speak with you, policemen don't go to the southeast states.
At all.
Not at all.
Well, I think I still feel that. Well, some people actually, when we were talking about this, they say this says, you know, you can also target with extrajudicial killings and the rest of them. But you made a point, Anita, say that, you know, it just as in a self-defense, somebody coming to your home to attack you, and you have another weapon to fight back. You know, two fighting, you kill somebody. That's in. It's on self-defense, so to say.
Yeah, it is.
That's what you're trying to say.
Let me give you an example. I was in my house and armed robbers came in. If I had gone, I would have shot them first because I watched them break my.
Iron lady.
Yes, no.
Are you sure you have the mind to do that?
Yes, I can. I will do that. If I had
That's
gone,
great.
I would have shot them because I watched them break through my protector and came in and, you know, manhandled me. If I had gone, I would have shot them first.
Okay.
Because they are intruders, and the same thing the minister has told them to do. Don't want people come to your house and then kill you. That's
I think also that even the correctional centers should also be beefed up. You know, anyway, the minister as well should also ensure that these prisoners are quick. You know, if to talk about judicial system, some people in the prison have overstayed their welcome.
Agreed.
You know, some of them are just there for a minor issue, minor crime that, you know, some of them is oppression. I know people that can detain you for years, you remain there, nobody is going to. But let the judicial system work also in this so that they can decongest the correctional centers and people can. And also, I think it's high time they begin to look at ways to, you know, engage the prisoners. Take them to. Look, right now, we want to grow food for self-sufficiency to feed ourselves in the country right now. Get hectares of land, get these people, get them working. They begin to grow agri-food for us, and then next time, maybe when they come out, because if you send someone to a prison
already, they do that.
Is it working?
It's working.
It's working.
It's working.
Okay, let's go for a short break then. It's Press Roundtable on our last lap now. We're going to take a look at police brutality after this time out. We'll just talk about this just before we call off the show today. It's Press Roundtable here on Atlantic Television Network. Please stay with us. We'll be back in just a moment. All right, so still Press Roundtable here on Atlantic Television Network, and we're taking a look at issues, of course, bothering us here. Now, a video of an officer of the Nigerian police force has been trending on social media where the officer publicly assaulted a woman by slapping and opened fire on her in Edo State. That's one, but was stopped by other officers with him. Again, this is one of the demands of the NSAS protesters to psychologically evaluate police officers in Nigeria. This is one of the reasons some Nigerians are calling for more drastic action be taken to reform Nigerian police. Okay. Let me go to Simon now in Abuja. Simon, I'm sure you saw that video the officer slapping a woman and publicly opening fire. Well, I don't know if that officer was actually under the influence of alcohol that very day, because he kept doing that, and the other officer was just asking him, stop, it's enough, it's enough. Not that the lady did anything wrong to him, but I don't know. It means that the police, after the NSAS protests, are yet to learn their lesson. Over to you, Simon.
Yes, the police as a force, some members feel once you are a policeman, you are above the law. You do whatever you want and nobody can question you. So that orientation has not been changed. As early as 2000, when Obasanjo came in, his plan was to ensure that he sacked all police officers and replace them with new members. But of course, the story got leaked in the Guardian newspaper, and thereafter, everything stopped. That was in 2000. Because I covered the State House then. Now, let me tell you the psychology of the policeman. The policeman feels that once he has that gun, there is nobody that can question him. And he does not operate within the laws. And the only body that can question him is the man with the arm. And someone with a gun can question him, but not bloody civilians.
So what do we do? Because for the sake of time, Simon, for the sake of time, what do we do so that this tide can be curtailed at the moment now? Because that's what is getting way out of her. What do we go for the sake? We have to go, no time again.
What we need to do is that we need to ensure that the qualification for one becoming a policeman is increased, not just secondary school recruit. People that have finished ND or degree holders. Because in the way we operate our own system now, where you just call secondary people to come and be recruited, they do not have that intellectual capacity to maintain law and order. So what you need now is people that are competent, academically competent, and not people that you just pick from the village. Because most of the people that bring the police are political talks.
Let's leave it at that.
Politicians get there and they just bring in people. And
all right. Thank you, Simon. We have to go. Honorable Promise. Just in 60 seconds, if we can do that.
Thank you very much. Police is not what we should be talking about. Rather, we should be looking at what are the measures that we put in place to end police brutality. Then you consider there should be an act of law. There should be a law. There should be a law that if you go contrary and
that prohibit them from
doing certain things, and the law that will be passed through the National Assembly and be domesticated across the state, that the moment you do anything contrary to what is obtainable, and you'll be judged.
Fine.
Immediately.
Let's leave it at that. Just 60 seconds. Anita?
Well, for me, I'm a crime correspondent, so I deal a lot with them. The truth is that, like Raoul said, most of these constables that you recruit from secondary school are not trained. I don't see an educated person.
So you're supporting
yes, I don't see an educated person behaving that way. Because you take them from the gutters and you make them give them uniform.
All right, thank you so much.
They can do anything.
Well, let's draw the curtain today. We want to thank you so much for being part of this show this evening. Thank you for investing your time. We have Simon Reed from Musa, is also Director of Frontline Media and also writes for the Leadership newspaper. Thank you, Simon, for coming on the show.
Thank you so much.
I also have Anita Awona, also one of us, a journalist as well. Thank you for coming on the show. Honorable Promise Nwankwo, lawmaker, thank you so much for coming on the show this morning. But we have not had enough of you. We're going to call you back because there's so much that you said. I've jotted them down. You have to explain that for us someday on this show here. All right, that's Press Roundtable today. Join us again tomorrow, same time. We'll bring you a fresh edition. Do follow us up on all our social media handles. Facebook and YouTube is at Atlantic Television Network, and Instagram is at Atlantic TV Network. I am Chituga Diamond. See you again tomorrow. Don't forget, peace and unity are the pathway to progress. Stay safe, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Good night.